Hello, welcome to Cypress Automation. This is Sherful. This is the continuation of Cucumber-BDD framework project in Cypress. In this lecture, we're going to see how to create step definition file for BDD framework. In our last lecture, we have seen how to create feature file where you have wrote the test cases in simple English language. So behind the scene you have to write your actual automation test cases where the test cases will be run and will do the automate, where the code will be written, which is called step definition file. So let's go back to our BS code. Okay, it was our last tutorial. We have seen that how to create a feature file and writing two scenario for our practice page, right? So if we want to write the actual code, because this is plain English language and this is the test cases, but to do automate this test case, right, you have to write the automation code where the automation code is going to write. So that's the step definition files comes to the picture. So it's a file, it's a JS file where you are going to write your actual code, and that file will be linked with this your with your feature file. So when we're going to execute the feature file, behind the scene this feature file will trigger that step definition file to execute the actual automation code. So let's see that how we are going to create the step definition file. So first of all, to create the step definition file, we need to create another folder with the same name like your feature file. So our feature file name was codeinbox_practice. So we're going to create another folder exactly by the same name. So underneath our project is Cucumber-BDD test, right? So here right click, new folder, give a name exactly the same name like your feature file, right? So codeinbox underscore then practice, right? Make sure that it's a case sensitive, so make sure the name and also the letter combination it's exactly the same. Codeinbox underscore practice, right? So that's the folder. So in this folder now we're going to create our step definition file, our page object, project class, all those things. So step definition file is going to be an extension with a JS file. So you can let's create, right click inside this folder, create a file, new file. So here you're going to give a name of this step definition. Maybe I will give a name by the page's name is practice, right? Practice step. Okay, so you can see this way. So name you can do whatever you want to give. Just make sure you give it JS extension. So practice steps.js. Okay, so that's my step definition file or step definition JS file. So here we're going to write the code which is according to this test cases. So how we're going to write? So before we first write our test cases, you can see this our feature file which is approach the given when then approach. So our practice file to link with this between these two files to talk with each other, this step definition file have to support this approach like given when then approach, right? We have to give this, and this approach comes from where? The Cypress Cucumber preprocessor plugin. I hope you remember the first video when you install or integrate the Cucumber-BDD framework in Cypress, we had to install a plugin which is called Cypress Cucumber preprocessor. So the reason why we install, because that's plugin support the BDD the frameworks, so which is the given when then approach. So that's why we have to make sure with this practice step definition file also have the knowledge about that BDD the approach. So which is, so you have to write or you have to write this line, the first import your given when then an approach, and you know, that's the BDD framework approach. From where? Cypress Cucumber preprocessor. This is the plugin we install /steps. Okay, make sure you write this line first, so your step definition file have the knowledge about this approach. Now you know you are going to write the test case actual. So here, let's save it. So let's create the function given when then approach according to our feature file. So first is we're going to write the given, right? So you can say it's a given. First scenarios is given, right? So we'll type over here given. So when you, how you are going to, you know, it will talk with each other, you have to write the keyword after the write your keyword, exactly the same sentence. So it's the same sentence for a given statement. Copy this one and come to your step definition file, and then in a given statement copy paste the whole thing. So there will be no, you know, will be internally talk to each other, and will find the same statement according to your feature file in your step definition by the same statement. And when it will find, it will understand this is the right given block, and inside the right given block it will, whatever the body the code will be, it will execute according to that. So that's the way it will interconnected and will find the code for those specific given when and then block. So here, after we write this, right, and how you gonna say, you are going to write function. So it will have a two part for given, so it's the same statement, and then another function, right? And then let's put this one. So you can use like this, you know, I can say function like enormous function, or you can use the fat function. I'm gonna use both. So let's use this way, and then I will use the arrow function also for other statements. So given, so I successfully, what's the given statement? I successfully browse to the application. So it means, you know, so what would be your code? So your code would be inside this function over here. This is your body of this for this given statement. So it is like launching the page. So we'll say sci dot, right, sci dot visit. So it's not showing reason because, you know, we have to use the IntelliJ, Cypress IntelliJ, so that it automatically find all of the Cypress command. So also after you import it, okay, let's type it here. Let's maybe type it here, or maybe you can type the IntelliJ part the top here. Okay, save it. So now type it sci. You can see now it's can find all the Cypress command. Sci.visit, we know, you know, to launch any website, so you need to use visit command. And what's the visit file, right? So we'll say in our let's go to our where it's our environment file, right? Let's go here, Cypress. Let's put it over here. That's fine. We'll tell later on. Okay, sci.visit, and what's the URL? That's the URL. It's it should be here. Let's copy the URL. Where is our application? Oh, let me copy this, the home page. Okay, so this is the, you know, sci.visit, and then we're going to just confirm. Let's use one session just to ensure that we landed to the right page. To do this, we'll say sci.url. So we'll check the URL have a code box word or sentence, right? URL dot should include what should include code inbox, right? Because in our URL it has a code inbox automation lab. So let's put the code inbox, right? So that's our assertion to confirm it landed to the right side. So that's the given part. Okay, so given part is done. Let's go to the when part. When part is click on practice page button, right? So go to the definition file, so give a space, it's a when, and then this is the same line. Make sure you copy exactly the same line, and then it will be treated like this. So I'm going to use this time, I'm going to use the arrow, the arrow function. So arrow function works like this. So you can see I'm using the enormous function like this way. You can also write this way, the arrow function. Okay, so the both way will work. So I'm using both. So in this I click on practice button. So I click on practice button. How you are going to click on practice button? So it should be, so you have to go to our side. So here you landed over here, and then you find the practice button, right? Right click, let's inspect it. So it has a, you can use easily, it has a contains practice, right? So let's minimize this. So I would say site dot get, what do you want to site dot contain, site dot contains. So contains what? Okay, practice dot, you want to click on that, that button. So click, you can maybe in a click you can put some force, so you can do it over like this, force true. Okay, you can pass argument also force, which is a true for, force click. So here it's, click on contains practice button, will click on up there. Okay, so that's the, so now you move to the practice page. So when this is your action, what should be your output? Output is that, you are going to say I should see the title of the page is this. So then, this is then, right? So this then statement, right? So this one, and then here you can see one part I said, I should see the title of the page. There is a string I pass. So whatever this automation practice, this is the actual output I put already inside the then statement. So it is will consider it, this will consider as a data driven test, like you were passing this actual output over here in this statement. So instead of automation practice, I will pass over here one variable, okay, one string variable. So it is a string, right? You can say I put a single quotation or double quotation, it is considering as a string. So instead of this automation practice, I will pass a over here string as a variable. So that variable will hold the value of this, okay, this one. Let me do it, then you will see, you will understand. So to pass a string variable, so we'll say it should be in this string. So the type of variable is string, right? So you pass the type of the variable after the statement, the same statement, and then here you will say pass one variable. So maybe just what was this title, right? Let's put the title. So let's give a variable name is title, and after you put the variable name, use the arrow function, right? And then this should be, oh, I didn't put the comma, missed the comma. Okay, so this is the title, it's the variable, okay, or you can say page title. Let's see, page title. Okay, so that's the variable. So this page title is the variable. It's a string type of variable what hold the string type of data, and where it comes from the data, this is the data it comes from. So because this line will match with that same line, and after that it will say there is a in a single quotation there is a string. So this string will be assigned to this variable, right? So this page title is now holding that value, which is the automation practice, right? So here now we're saying that let's spy the that page, that's the title. So let's go here. So this is the this is the element that will spy first, and then we'll extract the the value from this element, and we'll see this, extract the text from this element, and we'll see the text whatever it is matched with our expected text, our expected page title, which is the automation practice, and we'll also confirm this element is visible. So that will be our test. So how can we do this? Just right click, inspect it. It has a page title, class page title, so you can see group path. So if I just make sure it is define the single element, so it defined the same element. Okay, so that's fine. So let's go here. So let's so we'll see here, type over here. The code would be, so we'll spy the element. So sci.get, what's the element? So it is it's a class, right? So page title, and then we have to, so this is the element, and from this element, so this is a web element from this locator, and we're going to invoke, we're going to extract the text from this element. To do this, Cypress they have the text method, which is the jQuery text method we can invoke. So let's invoke that. So invoke the text method from jQuery, because Cypress doesn't support directly text method, but it can invoke any method that comes from jQuery. So jQuery, it has a text method, so we can invoke that text method, and after that we can use the then function, and we put in a variable, declare a variable, say give a name variable text1. So it means whatever the element it's over here will fire this text method on this element, so it will get the text and it will put in this variable, right? I hope you all know about it, because those are the all basic command, basic function, fundamental the function and command that comes with the Cypress. So you have to know all those things, and this practice is just to know how you can use the BDD Cucumber framework in Cypress. So it's not possible to explain again all those things Cypress command. Okay, so after that I'm going to use the arrow function, right? And then okay, where is okay page, okay, this right? Oh, so then function, I missed one thing. Okay, now inside this then function, so we can type, so our this variable now holding the text of this element. So we can say let's use this, we can say expect. We're not just going to compare the the text from this element with our expected text, right? Expect this one dot to equal what should be equal? It should equal this one. So this page title have the value of this exactly, this automation practice, this string, right? So we are going to, that's our expected, so we're going to compare with this with the actual text from this element. So we're compared with this. What can we do? One more thing, sometimes there is a space with your string, with your text, with your string. You may have a space at the beginning, or may have a string at the last, especially on actual text. So let's use, you can use a trim function. Trim function will remove, if there is any text comes, space comes with your text, with actual. So I put a trim function. We can put a trim function over here too, but let's try for now this way. Okay, so that will be pretty much. So let's see then function. So this is the then function. So I miss one, right? So let's minimize it. So that's the then function. And after that, what else we have? So this scenario is done, right? This scenario is done. Let's save it. And now if you want to, let's try to run this, because we completed one scenario we have done. And so you can run